beauty side, and now it's combined more wellness and beauty, because as you do hair longer, you notice how some people age more gracefully than others, and beauty is from within. And I still love doing hair, always will, but the beauty business needs more people who are health oriented to insist that we use quality products. But as a cosmetologist, even the school I went to taught how to customize perms and hair color by using vitamins and lecithin, and which was very revolutionary for the time because we customized everything. And the school I went to is still in business, and it's an independence. And from that, I really got the idea that we are each responsible for finding out what we put in us and on us, and our environment, and our world, and our earth, and we're all interconnected, and how we can take care of each other. So after I sold my salon about a year and a half ago, I became a certified health coach, as Wendy is, and so I'm still learning from her, and we all learn from each other. And one of the things I came across, Jim and I were in Belize about 8 years ago, and we took a sailboat cruise, and the countryside there is so much more underdeveloped. And we embarked from a little town called Placencia, and it was a fishing village. And it was suffering, and tourism was just beginning to come in, and it helped the whole economy, because Belize is such a poor country. And the school children there are totally dependent on their parents. There's no organized school payment system. It's not organized by the government. The parents have to work really hard and supply their uniforms and books and everything. And so people there, and because they were protectorate of Great Britain for a long time, they had no way of learning how to be entrepreneurs, how to run a business. And so a lot of expats were moving there and starting businesses to help them learn how to be more self-sufficient now that they were no longer connected with Great Britain. So one of the industries was a seaweed farm that I happened to look into and was fascinated by, because National Geographic did a study, and for I think a couple years, and taught the fisher folk how to grow seaweed in controlled environments and clean environments. And it provided a nutritional boost, an economic boost, and then it even was used in skincare. So I thought, bingo, I'm on. I'm going to learn more. So that was about 8 years ago, and so I started experimenting with making skincare products with seaweed, and I did. And I started with a serum and a toner, which I've changed the formula a couple times since then. But basically, it's a vitamin C, seaweed, now it's tremella mushroom, because we can repair sun damage, and everybody's got it. I'm not trying to make a whole new skincare line. I'm just trying to address one simple common problem, and that's sun damaged skin. And I don't care what color or how old you are or whatever, we all have it. And then I started, because I've always had one foot in the culinary world and one foot in the beauty world, I started coming up with a seasoning. So long story short, sold the salon, became a certified health coach, and thoroughly love meeting different people like you who have a passion for helping others feel better and look better. So in the last few years, I don't know if you have to live under a rock and not know that there's been more and more study done with gut health. Gut health being your digestive system. And when you take care of your gut health, it makes every other system work. And so seaweed is a very superfood ingredient. Mushrooms are as well. Healing mushrooms, things that you may not be too aware of, that I'd never even heard about before, like reishi and lion's mane and that sort of thing. And it improves cognitive brain function. So all these are kinds of little superfoods that we can incorporate in our daily life, and that's the purpose of this meeting and this brunch, is to help people find out ways they can take better care of themselves. And when we share the knowledge and we share the fun, because it can be a lot of fun. And so today, I not only made food that has seaweed or my seasoning mix in every course. I don't know if you know the restaurant Cacao at 103rd and across from Jasper's, that whole shopping area down the street, or across the street. They were on 95th Street. Now they are on 103rd, and their chef, what was her name? Fernanda mushrooms, dried seaweed, tremella mushrooms, my seasoning mix, coconut, all these raw ingredients, and I said, here's your culinary crayon box. And she was thrilled. She said, this is so much fun. So not only do I have my own food here, but I have a whole spread of food that she created, and she's got post-it notes of everything that she made. And it's so exciting. And so I'm going to be able to enjoy some new foods totally that I've never had before. I've always tried to kind of disguise the seaweed a little bit just to get it in your system, kind of get you used to it, because with a Midwestern palate, we're not familiar with seaweed, and we don't always understand that briny taste. And then after a while, you kind of like, oh, I kind of like that. It kind of reminds you of a sauerkraut or a kimchi, or, you know, and I can put a little bit. So, you know, you just kind of have to gradually figure out ways to get a little bit, because seaweed, I have so much literature, and I condensed it down to just a few little folders, but basically it is full of amino acids. Some of them have B12, protein. There's 3 different types of seaweed that are grown, plus the blue-green algae, which is a whole other variety, which is like spirulina and chlorella. And so, depending on the type of seaweed that you use, and the importance of, just like any other food, is getting a little bit of a variety. And so it's a mix and match, and as long as you have a little bit of all different kinds, you're covering all your bases, and you don't have to make it hard. So my future goal is to really get people who are on board, and we have some cooking classes together, so keep that in mind. I do have some literature here about gut health and foods like bone broth, and so of course there's seaweed in the bone broth, which will further enhance your whole gut cleansing. When we clean the gut, then all the other functions of our body, it has a chance to really work well. So it's kind of like when you have a party, you clean up your house first before you have everybody over. Well, when you take care of your gut, you're cleaning everything out, so that when you do put in nutrition, it's going to work better. Oversimplified, but that's about it. And so, anyway, I have a lot of articles. This is an article written by a woman who founded a really famous, very popular cosmetic company called Repicharge. She's been making seaweed skincare products for 40 years. This is an article that she wrote. It's pretty fascinating. She gets into a lot of detail about different varieties of seaweed and why it's so important for different types of healing. There's some flyer on benefits for the thyroid, digestion, diabetes. It's just a fascinating study. And then I guess that's about it. And then I ordered several copies of this book, Bone Broth, and Jay's going to tell you more a little bit about that, what we have planned for this in a little while. But no, let's see. Okay. And as a result of all of our exploratory sensory perceptions, both topical, internal, and everything, of seaweed and healing effects of bone broth, which helps your gut, which seaweed is a part of all of that. I have some special offers for the bone broth. I contacted the manufacturers of the bone broth that I use today. I used to make my own. I still make it occasionally, but it takes a long time. It's easier to do it in a crock pot, but I did find a brand I like really well. And the founders are graduate students of the same school I went to, Integrative Nutrition. And so I contacted them, and they were thrilled that I wanted to feature their products. So they gave me a coupon code. So if you want to ever order some for yourself, I have all the information here, and I will have some on hand if you want to take some home. So just let me know. So when Jay talks about the drawing for the books, he can go over the coupon ideas.
My name is Wendy Voss. I'm a certified health coach. That is, I have 20 years of experience in the communications, the corporate world. My passion is health and wellness. I went through a kind of a health crisis myself. Stress. Has anyone had stress before? Right?
Before?
I know, right?
Stress is the #1 killer of your gut health, followed by antibiotics, sugar, processed foods. There's other things that contribute to our lack of our gut health deterioration, but those are the primary 4. And I got to the point in time with chronic stress for a period of years, and then all of a sudden I found myself in a place of fatigue, like exhaustion. And my counselor said, "You're clinically depressed. I need you to go to your doctor and get some medication." And my hair was falling out, and my nails were breaking, which is ironic because I just broke my nail here. I don't, not relative to health. Really found myself in a place where hormonally was up and down. So I went to my doctor and said, my counselor wants me to come see you for depression. He said, I agree you need to be on medication, but because we were going through fertility treatments at the time, I could not go on medication. Nor did I really want, in the heart of hearts, that I had to go on medication. But yet I was willing to if it would help where I was emotionally. But he didn't leave me with any other options. And I was healthy. How many of you ran a 5K? How about 10K? Half marathon? Full marathon? Triathlon?
Randy, do boys count?
So I was that person. I was the runner. I ran 3-4 days a week. I did yoga 3 days a week. I ate healthy. Everyone came to me for health advice, weight loss advice. I was the person, like, for 20 years. But yet I was still suffering inside. If I was eating well and exercising and doing everything right, why did I feel like crap, right? Why could I not drag myself out of bed? So I knew there had to be something underneath. Now I'm not new to vitamins. I took Flintstones when I was little.
The little Flintstones gummies.
I am not a proponent of Flintstones now. However, I am a proponent of multivitamins. And my folks have always been, let's solve things naturally. They've always given me vitamin C when I have a sore throat or that sort of thing. So I'm not new to vitamins or supplements. But nor had I done my research about them. So I'd been taking a prenatal vitamin for many, many years, thinking I was taking the best because my pharmacist had recommended what it was. When you know what you know, you can't unknow it, right? And I started researching the ingredients and realized that what I'd been filling my body with was absolute crap. I literally was wasting my money flushing it down the toilet. So I started doing my own investigations about ingredients. What ingredients lead to better health, which leads to depression being healed, adrenal fatigue being healed, all these other symptoms. The symptoms, I'm not a Band-Aid person. Don't give me a Band-Aid. I want to know what is the underlying root cause. And I was having a discussion with Renee in there earlier. We have optimal health and wellness, and then we have disease, right? Diabetes, can I use that as an example? Diabetes. She didn't all of a sudden go from optimal health to diabetes, right? There's this thing that happens in between. So at certain points in time, something has happened, whether it's what you eat, whether it's the stress you're feeling, the antibiotics you're taking, life happens, and all of a sudden you realize you're no longer in optimal health and now you're in disease. And the doctor says, yeah, you have diabetes, Renee, so let's give you a medication. And you say, oh, that's why I've been feeling like crap, so I'm taking this medication. So the doctors feel good about this what we can call this thing, but it doesn't solve what has happened from optimal health to disease. Right, and I've got a nurse in the background too, so she's like, she can correct me if I'm wrong. So the root cause of all illness is one of three things, and a lot of times they work together. Gut health, thank you, Kathleen. Inflammation, how many of you have heard inflammation, right? And blood sugar, or blood glucose. And really what we mean is insulin, our body's ability to do what it needs to do with insulin, which is our master hormone. Your hormones, whether it's your hunger hormone, or your sex hormones, or any other hormones, will fall in line with insulin. So if your insulin's doing this little number all day, guess what your other hormones are doing, right? So I did enough research. I tried several different companies, several different supplements, over the counter, direct sales, all these other things. But when I started reading how much of an impact gut health has to do with every single thing in your body, that's when things flip the switch. I personally represent Plexus Health Supplements because they deal with those three things. They address the root cause issues. The line, and you'll be able to see it in there too, is maybe 20 products. You don't need a whole lot of stuff when you're addressing underlying issues. You don't need all 20. I'm not saying you need all 20. Primarily, three things is kind of what you need to bring your body into balance. When you bring your body into balance, all these other things start to disappear, right? It's just a natural cause and effect. If you heal the gut, then you're autoimmune. Autoimmune disease means your immunity is not working, right? Where's your immunity? Your immunity is in the gut. So I could talk all day, but gut health is super, super important, whether we're solving with what we eat and or the probiotics, digestive enzymes, different things we're taking. We have to get that gut healed up. And if we're in a point of disease or illness, it's going to take a little while for that gut to heal. We might need to do a little more work.
Sometimes
right?
it might be too late.
Sometimes it becomes an acute illness instead of a chronic illness, right? So that's my passion, is to spread the word. We got to get to those underlying root cause issues, so that we're no longer just putting the Band-Aid on it. Because I will tell you this: if your gut signals to your body, I need help in this area, thyroid disorder, any autoimmune disorder, and you put a Band-Aid on it, but you don't fix the gut, then it's going to say, I need help in this area, because you haven't made it well. And so you're going to put a medication on that, and then 10 years down the road, you're on 20 medications going, how did I get here, right? So let's back that off. Let's start treating our bodies like we need to be treated. Get that gut health component all healed up, inflammation down, blood sugar balanced, and you'd be amazed at how well you feel and how your body responds, whether it's weight loss, weight gain, symptom loss, right? I did a talk not too long ago to the Johnson County Suicide Prevention Coalition on anxiety and depression and suicide and the connection to gut health. Because believe it or not, our gut has a whole lot to do with what our mind says, how our mind feels. Did you know that 90% of your serotonin, what's serotonin? Do you know what serotonin is?
Feel good.
Our feel-good hormone. Our feel-good hormone, our connectedness is made in our gut, 90%. So if medications are telling our brain to try to manufacture something that it can't manufacture, are you going to get the relief that you really need, right? Anxiety is the same way. GABA is a neurotransmitter. It goes from our gut to our brain. It's the anti-anxiety neurotransmitter. 50% is made in our gut. And then one more, dopamine. What is dopamine? Pleasure center, right? How we feel, the pleasure that we get from things. If we're not finding pleasure in anything, and we're getting depressed, and we're getting isolated, do you think the rate of suicide goes up? Absolutely. So dopamine, 50% is in our gut. Fix our gut, a lot of our mental issues will go away. We're able to cope better. Does it mean you don't need to go to counseling? No, I'm a huge proponent of counseling, right? That means the counselor, psychiatrist can better help you cope with the stress that's happening, right? So that's kind of my passion. I'm sorry, Kathleen, I can go on and on, but gut health, blood sugar, inflammation. Let's get to the root cause so you can actually feel fantastic again. Because at age 43, I feel like nothing like I did in my 30s. I went through my 30s sick, even though I was running, and doing yoga, and eating well, doing everything right. I was getting sicker. So I see that over and over again. I sit with my mom. My mom was chronically IBS, diarrhea, anxiety, depression. She was obese, overweight, chronic high blood pressure, which was not just driven by weight. That's related to gut health too, right? I started bringing all those things into balance with 3 things that I took myself. See, I started investigating Plexus because I was concerned about my mom too. And I wasn't about to put her on something that I didn't put on myself, right? So we both took it. My body flipped a switch. Hormonally, I got fixed. I'm not even, it's a 20-year hormonal nightmare, right? Now that's fixed with the blood sugar. I was not only healed, but my mom lost 48 pounds, 34 inches. Her IBS diarrhea is gone. Her anxiety is gone. Her high blood pressure normalized. Why is that? Because we brought things into balance, right? I don't want to say it's a magic pill, but when you address the underlying root cause issue, a lot of magic does happen. And that's it. I'm going to stop there, right?
I have one more thing. I read everything really interesting that if you find yourself being like you have snap reaction to things, it could be that you have a deficiency sometimes in magnesium.
Absolutely.
And that is one of the biggest deficits that we have, especially as a processed and typical SAD diet, standard American diet.
80%.
And go Peter, come on, yell it out.
Well, magnesium.
80% of people are short on magnesium.
Well, because it's a soil-based mineral. And so our farming practices are not allowing us to necessarily get that mineral. And it's so key to our
And we have so
being.
much other toxic metals in our food. Seaweed was one of those things that helped to cleanse as a food product. But then you've got the supplements that help even further. Some people have thyroid issues that is hyperthyroid and they can't take too much iodine.
That's my mom.
So you can eat a little bit, but can't eat very much. And by the way, I forgot to mention, most people, if they need thyroid help, they only have to take less than a teaspoon of seaweed a day. That's it. And that's if it's a serious condition. If it's not that serious, it's maybe every other day or twice a week. It's just every person's biome is different. And and I also want to do a little plug. Really quickly, I forgot to mention, I make a, and if you're ever interested in trying, I make a duo gel that I put in my smoothies as well as in my skincare. And what it is, it's the, and I have the tea downstairs. It's called a blue butterfly, which I started growing on my little wall there that has a little vine with a little purple flower. You can't see it too much now, but I grew it just because I wanted to try it. But it's one of the highest antioxidant vitamin C tea products that are available. And so I mixed it with hibiscus, which is another antioxidant tea that is high in vitamin C. So I brewed that and I mixed it with my seaweed and I made a gel. So I use it just plain in my food. And then when I want to put it in skincare, I add essential oils and put it right into my lotions and right on my skin. So I pull one out of the freezer and just part of it goes in my smoothie and part of it goes in my skincare. So if you ever want to take some home, just let me know. I'll give you a bottle. You can play with it yourself. And I can show you how to make your own. It's pretty simple and it's fun to have on hand. And you don't waste it because, oh, I didn't use it all up on my skin. Okay, well, I'm going to put the rest in my smoothie.